Good morning, traders, and welcome to the Flow with the Markets Tuesday. It is the 28th of June, and we're doing the update of the weekly outlook and setups volume 153. So as you know, in these Tuesday videos, I am just quicker. I'm more like I'm analyzing the markets real time for you, so we can see how Monday developed and what kind of signs we have of the potential direction of the market, what kind of sentiment was introduced on Monday, and what we can potentially, of course, do today and for the remaining of the week. All right, so I'm gonna just be straightforward, nothing too much to discuss, no hard time from analysis, just focusing more on intraday and the Monday's development. All right, so of course, starting with a Dixie, but first of all, as I always tell you, check your economic calendars, because just by starting every week by having a look at the economic calendar, right, you know potentially which days are going to be the best, which days are going to be the movers. And for example, this week, like yesterday, we did not have any news at all. Today we have like a speech from Lagarde and nothing too much during US, so we can expect that Monday and Tuesday are going to be potentially kind of liquidity grabs. Maybe you're going to have a nice intraday move, but the real weekly move is not going to occur on Monday and Tuesday, right? And then we go on to Wednesday. So if I just plot it in like this week, so you can see yesterday, yes, we had some, but nothing too much. You can see London was pretty dead, although we had a nice opportunity in London. Wednesday, we can see, so we have a lot of Euro news right there, a lot of Euro news right there, Aussie retail sales right there. And during US session, we have Powell speaking, we have consumption expenditure, we have GDP, we have another speech and another speech, right? So we can expect Wednesday to actually make the move. Then on Thursday, we continue with some GBP, some Euro, and then we can expect, for example, Thursday to have that continuation of what was introduced during Wednesday. And then, of course, on Friday, we have also some pretty important news, which are going to be a further continuation, all right? So back to the charts, and keeping this in mind, I do think the market is going to set up today for tomorrow, for the big news tomorrow. And pretty much in terms of the update that I'm going to give you, we did not do much, right? You can see my expectation on the DXY was a little bit too much, right? So we didn't do much. So we just opened and we continued to kind of a little bit flow to the downside. We broke a new structure right there, right? So potentially right now, yes, I am overall bearish on the dollar. If I ask, okay, what is the flow right now of the dollar? It is bearish, although on the daily, the structure is pretty bullish. I am looking for us to get into deeper discounts, so then we can, for example, start buying. But right now, the flow is bearish, so we keep following this flow until we're wrong. If we drop to the 50-minute time frame, like London provided a nice long on EU and a nice short on Dixie, then we came all the way back up towards this little range right here, tapped inside, and then you can see we had a very nice sharp spike to the downside. So this morning I was looking to see whether the market is going to come in right there, but what we see already happening is that the market didn't even liquidate above the Asian high. Okay, well, just by a tick, right? And it's already starting to massively flush to the downside, okay? And we probably respected this little guy right there. So what we have right now is a shift in structure, right? We have a structure break right there. So what I'm going to be looking for right now is 30 minutes into Frankfurt Open. I intentionally waited a little bit so I can get a little bit more momentum, a little bit more action, so then I can actually show you, for example, how we adapt. So what I'm going to be looking for right now is for any sort of pullback towards the highs right there and a continuation lower towards this low right there. Oh, come on. So this is what I would be expecting today, and potentially then seeing also this low go. But if we are bearish on the Dixie right now, if it further wants to go into discount, then those are the lows that are potentially going to be taken, okay? So focusing on the shorts right now, again, we're just expanding. I was looking for longs on EU, but unfortunately did not provide an entry. But again, it's just 40 minutes into Frankfurt Open, so let's see what we can get, okay? So as you can see, EU, as per my outlook, so we had, again, as I told you, where we're overall bearish on this daily / weekly. It's also a 4-hourly leg, right? We're bearish. We tapped above 50%, we responded. But what is happening, again, as I explained to you in the weekly outlook, is that we are shifting bearish. So we have a structure break low, a structure break high, bullish intention, pullback, higher low, push, higher low, push, higher low, and right now we're pushing, right? So we never broke a higher low in order to introduce that bearish sentiment, right? And this is why I told you that this right there is weak supply, right? So if we're looking to sell from right there, it's not high probability, okay? So what we ended up doing is we actually attacked this high and tapped into this higher time frame supply. But in my opinion, this is just a reaction, right? Because again, did we break structure? Nope. So this, according to me, was the 4-hourly higher low right now. And if I just transfer this onto the 15-minute, so I had slightly different expectations for this morning as I was doing my analysis for my team. I wanted to see this low go first, so then we can actually start getting into longs. But the market didn't even liquidate below Asia. Well, it was probably just with a, just with a pip, right? And right now, look at that bullish momentum, right? So right now we have a 15-minute structure break. We have a brand new range to potentially trade from. But the question is, are we gonna pull back right now? Or are we just gonna head towards like the high, right? It's not nice because everything was framed nicely, but we just didn't get an entry. And if I just jump on the 1 minute, there is just no entry, right? So there is the liquidation. There we had a push up, broke structure. So then you would look to take a long from there, chopped around. We broke this low right there, and then we just expanded and expanded higher. Okay. So maybe even while I do the analysis, this high is going to get taken. So after this high is taken, it's going to serve as liquidity. So then we can potentially look for a rebound, or we can take shorts as a counter trend trade. Then to potentially come in right there to see if we can catch any longs, right? But right now, pretty much the morning setup is gone. I would have loved to take this long right now, to be in this long, but there is no setup provided. And guess what? I'm just going to step aside and come back into New York, or come back tomorrow, right? There's just no rush to trade, okay? But again, yes, the outcome is I would love to see this high go, because this is the first high into the supply, which is usually act as liquidity, right? People selling from right there that are going to get stopped out. And then I'm just going to be looking how the market is going to behave within this supply. And if it provides me with a short, I'm going to take it. But what I'm going to do is I'm just going to drop my 50% range, right? And I'm just going to take a short towards the 50%, okay? Because then, of course, we can continue with the overall bullish order flow. So this is EU for right now. If by any chance we do not break the high right now and we pull back towards this demand zone, I'm going to be looking for longs. If we, of course, break the high, then, of course, this is going to be liquidity. So then I'm going to be looking for a corrective pullback, then to take a long during New York, maybe. But currently, unfortunately, this setup is gone. So we have to be patient. Euro yen, we can see again, massive expansion. So what I expected on this one is overall bearishness, but we can see as Euro is strong right now, we just see that it sustains to the upside, right? And we had a little bit of a sell-off right there. The market pushed. So this scenario did not develop. This actually developed. We came inside, responded, but look how we came inside. Look at the bullishness. Boom, our high, right? 1, 2, 3 corrective candles and another push right now. So what we have right now is a 4-hourly demand, right? The structure is pretty bullish right now. We also have a 15-minute shift right now. So what I would say is that if you're trading New York, similarly to EU, wait for this one to come back and then take a long and just follow this overall higher time frame bias. I do think the next target then could be this high, although we did not pull back to 50% of this overall range. That's fine. That's a JPY pair. They tend not to pull back towards 50%. But yes, I am going to be following this overall bullish flow. So again, if we get any pullback into this brand new created range, when it stops, something like this, I'm going to be looking for the longs. Okay. Also keep in mind, today is Tuesday, all right? And Tuesday tends to create the weekly high or the weekly low. So all we're seeing right now could also be manipulation. So yesterday I called shorts for my team on AU. And I think some of them took, I'm not really sure. But yeah, pretty much I also told you that this one I thought was liquidity. So what we did is we came in, we took it out, reaction, pullback, shorts right there. So there is your short, pretty much this move. It was London move. New York came back to liquidate London's move. Then we tried to push, but have a look. Again, what I told you about the flow and the structure, it never got bearish, right? So it's just higher lows, higher lows, higher lows, higher lows, higher lows, never broke, right? And right now what we have is the expansion towards a new higher high. And it's already being taken, right? It's already been taken, which makes it a little bit tricky. So you're right now like, okay, is it bullish? Is it bearish? Well, the 4-hourly still remains bearish for me. Although you can look at it from a different perspective right now. You can say, okay, so we made a lower low right there. Right now we made a higher high right there. We pull back and we held from this demand right now. So potentially this high right now can go, right? So it's all about like thinking in different scenarios and different situations, right? Not just saying, oh, it's bearish, then you go try to go short. No, because right now this high is going to get taken. This creates a new demand zone right there. So what I'm going to do right now is just follow the flow. So if by any chance this market right now provides me a pullback within this zone, I'm going to be dropping to the 1 minute and looking for my entry setup and then taking a long, for example. Okay. So again, guys, follow the flow. But what can also be happening right now is we might be manipulating above this high right now. So then we can start launching the sell orders. And this is why if you're not sure, you have to wait, right? Honestly, right now, we do not really have like a textbook nice setup that we can strike on, right? So wait for the flow to shift, for all the time frames to align in your direction. And that is when you get the highest probability trade. Okay, but currently, according to me, the flow on AU is bullish. So if you're looking for trades, I think longs are going to be the highest probability. But again, keep in mind that we're again tapping into this 4-hourly supply. We tapped once, took it out. We tapped twice, took it out the third time. So maybe we're going to start launching any sales anytime soon. As you can see, AJ is just tapping into the supply. As we spoke on the weekly outlook, the JPYs looked a little bit more bearish. And we can see that yesterday we didn't do much. Like we sold off right there on market open. Then we pulled back. We tried to sell off, but then we broke above, right? So again, if we ask ourselves, why is this right there? What is the market currently doing? Well, it's going up, right? The momentum is up. And even though we're entering into supply right now, the momentum is up, right? So of course, if you're feeling risky right now, we're tapping inside the supply, wait for your entry setup, take a short. But again, be aware that the current momentum and the current flow is bullish, right? So if you get then a retest of the zone, which took liquidity, it's a pretty nice zone, then you can also look for longs. And then again, going with this overall bullish momentum on the Aussie. And maybe we're going to come in back to retest this extreme right there. Okay, so that is Aussie. I'm bullish looking at this momentum. It could be manipulation again, but you're only going to know if it's manipulation after it breaks the structure. Then you're going to say, okay, so we had liquidity, manipulated, broke structure, then you're going to get a retest and then you're going to take this trade. Okay, so patience, guys. Don't listen to those guys that are like, I caught it from the top right there with 2 pip stop loss, then I'm going to get 40R. Nope, right? How do you know it's just going to stop right there in the reverse like this and you got a 2 pip stop loss, right? So just think of that. NU, this one is sloppy. This one is pretty sloppy as I look at it right now, but yeah, so it's kind of wicked the low, pulling back. So this is unclear, right? As soon as I saw this chart, I got confused, right? Dropping onto the 50-minute, do you see anything tradable right there? I don't. Guess what? We skip, right? I'm just not gonna analyze this, but I really hate these flat highs right there. So in order for me to take a short, I need to see a break, then I need to see like this. Okay, I need to see liquidity gathered before we actually launch a move lower, because I really don't think with all of this choppiness right there, we're going to get an opportunity, okay? If it just goes without this liquidation above, then yeah, just wait for the market to shift to show you the bearish intention. And then of course, you're going to keep pumping lower with the overall trend. Right now, it's just unclear. So NJ, it's probably going to be the same. Yeah, I'm still looking for a deeper pullback on this one. We're just tapping into the first one, similar to AJ, EJ, not sure, taking out this liquidity right now. So again, I tell you, well, you can get ready for shorts from here, but in order for your short to be valid, you need to wait for a lower time frame or for a mid time frame like the hourly or the 50-minute to align with your direction, right? Currently, the 50-minute is bullish, right? Also, the 4-hourly flow very recently has turned bullish. You can say maybe from here it turned push, pullback, higher low. Right now we're creating a higher high, right? So again, it's not the highest probability short, right? But again, if this breaks below this low right there, then you can wait for the pullback and then you can start launching the shorts, okay? So this is pretty much the plan for the NZDs. UJ is also doing the same. So let's see how UJ is going to respond, right? UJ is just going to be tapping into this supply. So if UJ like comes in, then it starts respecting the low, starts breaking the lows, then we can have all the JPYs with it as well. All right. So yeah, patiently waiting for it. It still hasn't come into the supply. So we just have to wait, right? We just have to wait. And of course, as I told you, if the market starts trending lower, but starts to break the lower lows and making new ones, that is when you short, right? You do not short when the market is doing this, like higher low, higher low, higher low right there, higher low right there, higher low right there. So if you try to short from there, wrong. If you try to short from there, wrong, right? Wait for the market to start trending and then just trade with the flow. UCAD, I have to start looking at UCAD a bit more, maybe for the next outlook. USD Swiss. GU is still in this kind of choppy range. It's slightly bit unclear. There was a short yesterday to be taken in New York, but again, I'm just waiting on this one. Right now, it's sitting perfectly at EQ. If I just draw the range, it's just kind of ranging around the 50%. So yeah, what can I say on this one? Even if I drop to the 15-minute, well, yesterday we kind of manipulated this high, then we massively shifted the structure lower, right? So right there, come on. Then we came in. Why is this playing with me like this? Then we came in right here. So this is supply, like this. So we came in right there. There is a beautiful short setup if you wish to see it right there. So if we think, okay, well, the market kind of manipulated previous daily highs, it took some liquidity, it shifted this 50-minute structure to bearish. I would really want to see this one also go in order to confirm a confirmed trend, right? But if you're looking for something on GU, then I will wait for this one to tap right now and then see if we can shift on the 50-minute again and continue going lower. I am kind of overall sell bias, but if I just jump on the 4-hourly time frame, it is unclear, so I do not have the higher time frame bias with me. Okay, so right now, similarly to EU, kind of we grabbed a little bit of liquidity below the Asian low. Did this one provide an entry? Well, yeah, possibly for some of you, maybe you could have entered something like this, riding this long right now. But I do think right now we have a bit more space into the highs right there. And then I'm going to be watching for how price delivers within this area right there. And if we can get any shorts. GJ is probably a bit more bullish. Yep. So as I told you, GJ is technically bullish. We have this push, we have this pullback to the extreme, and currently we're in this kind of bullish flow. Nothing much has happened. We're about to start tapping inside this guy. But if you drop to the hourly, ask yourself, what is the momentum and what is the structure? Well, bullish, right? Higher low, higher low, higher lows. Okay, so we just grabbed this low. Right now we're shifting on the hourly bullish. And then of course you can be looking for a retest of this sort of range, probably on the 50-minute. Yep. So we're starting to break. So again, if you want to do trend following, then wait for the market to come in right there, give you your entry setup, and then ride it towards the supply. Okay, this is how I would approach GJ for today. We'll be looking for longs as long as I'm as that long gets violated. Okay, gold. Yeah, gold hasn't done much. Pushed up, pushed down, still in the range. So I am staying away from gold from now. It's just unclear, right? If you want to do something, you're gonna force it probably. Yes, some intraday setups, maybe catching. Yeah, this is last week again, 27th, made the high during London, then it sold off. So you can be looking at this kind of continuation trade. But in terms of higher time frame bias, and if you really kind of wish to get a high probability trade, I don't think you can get it right now because the direction is unclear, right? According to me, of course. So I'm not gonna spend much time on it. And yeah, indices, yeah, some shorts, some longs yesterday. We're just tapping right now into 50% into the supply. Responded, but I do think we're headed higher right now. So we're about to break structure, potentially to take out this high. And after taking out this high, the question is whether we're going to climb even higher before we start selling a little bit, right? Or are we going to flush from after breaking the high? So something like this, right? This is one of the situations. The other one is to have a deeper pullback. Okay. So again, as I keep telling you guys, keep following the flow, right? What is the flow right now? It is bullish, right? It is bullish. You can see right now on the hourly, we're starting to shift higher. We can see that this supply is not really showing us much signs that it's going to hold, right? It's kind of respected, push, pullback. It didn't even fully break the higher low. It just wicked it, right? So really, I'm not seeing any seller's intentions. So I keep longing this instrument as long as the 4-hourly and the hourly and the 50-minute turn bearish, right? Nasdaq as well, deep pullback above 50%. We just have this little slight range right there, but I do think this one has more upside because it's gonna need more liquidity in order for it to go down. So we can take out this high, we can take out this high, we can tap in right there, and then we can start positioning ourselves for shorts if we of course believe that the stock market is gonna continue plummeting, right? I personally think this is just a pullback to gather more liquidity for another crash. S&P is also pulling back very nicely, above 50%. It's starting to respond, but it needs more orders. It needs to pull back a little bit higher, right? So I do think we still have more upside on this one. So again, follow the intraday momentum. Currently it's bullish, so as long as we're bullish, we keep longing. And the Bitcoin, I have no comments on these guys. I'm not looking at them at all right now. So currently, just to summarize again, DXY started to pull back, so I'm curious to see whether EU is also going to give us a nice pullback together with the DXY, so we can take a short on Dixie and we can take a long on EU, so they can actually achieve their liquidity targets. For me, I would be looking for this high potentially to be taken on EU, right? But right now, if for example we start breaking like this, then I'm gonna of course adapt and start looking for shorts. It's all about adaptation. Like in the morning, I might be looking for longs, but 1 hour later, I might be looking for shorts, right? And this is why I am always against analysis, like following somebody's analysis like to the pip, or following signals, right? Because if you follow signals, you just don't know when this person is gonna change his mind or maybe take profit or secure partials. And you don't also want to follow my analysis, for example, this morning, because right now I tell you long, but as soon as I see this, right, I'm gonna be into shorts, and you don't know this, and then you're like, but he took longs, he lost, so he sucks, right? But I might have not taken any longs, and then I might be on the shorts, right? So focus on you, utilize that analysis in order to learn, in order to build a plan, to become better, right? And just to get my market sentiment, but don't really marry those trades, and always think both sides, right? Where are the shorts, where are the longs, where am I wrong, right? So currently, if this is bullish, where am I gonna be wrong, right? Well, after this low goes, right? Aussie dollar also bullish, just broke structure. Where am I gonna be long with my long bias? After this low goes, right? And then what you do, you go short, right? Easy. But yeah, pretty much following this momentum right now. Let's see if we're gonna get those longs on EU, longs on Aussie, longs on GU until we reach those liquidity targets. On GU, yeah, I would love for this supply to tap, then to see what's gonna happen. So currently, like on the lower time frame, on the 5 minute and on the 15 minute, there is it's not very clean zone. Like GU doesn't tend to form very clean. But yeah, I'm gonna be looking for a zone somewhere right there to see if we can catch any longs, right? And of course, if we're wrong, we adapt. Okay, so I'm gonna stop right there. Hopefully this was insightful. Again, I'm kind of just speaking my mind, not really kind of making it textbook as we do in the weekly outlooks, but hopefully this gave you an insight. Hopefully you learned something, it opened your mind. I wish you an amazing week, right? Follow your plan, follow the momentum, follow the flow, right? Don't get married to any outcomes, and yeah, keep practicing. Okay, and talk to you on my next video.